Hi, everybody. I'm doing something now that I've done some years ago, and I started it again now, and that's just giving you a bit of astronomy, also from my backyard. I built up my equipment here, and I'll show you how you can transform your wildlife photography equipment into astronomy equipment. It's quite amazing what one can do. So I want to give you a little bit of a astronomy show. Hi, Rita. Hi, Gloria. Nice to see you all. Very nice. So enjoy it. I'm going to show you, I'm locked onto the moon, which is really nice. I'll show you in a moment how I do that. But I just want to show you how high resolution I can really go. And I'm scanning across you see, across the surface here with absolute ease. And you can see I can get quite a good magnification out of this. And the so-called seeing is very good. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you. Good evening. Hey, Kit. Very nice. Here I'm at it again. I don't know where Jamie is. He's probably busy, right? So very nice to see you. But you can see I can show you something beautiful. I can't travel to Australia at the moment, but I can certainly show you something really beautiful. I'll show you how I do the whole thing. I'm just going to zoom out what my setup looks like. Let me just show you quickly. Okay, so that's my setup. You can see that's my wildlife lens there. And that wildlife lens is actually looking straight at the moon. I've got some finder equipment here. I've got a lens, and that's what you call an equatorial mount. It's called an equatorial mount. Hi, Denise. Nice to see you. Chandra, Barbara, everyone. Very nice. Gail. So that is looking straight at the moon. That's my wildlife equipment with which I usually look at eagles and so on, but it can also look at the moon, and it can look at incredible celestial displays. And I will go through the objects as we move on. I will, as the weeks go by, I will show you something that's way beyond the moon with this equipment. It's quite remarkable. But tonight I just thought I'll show you the moon. I'll show you how I set up the whole equipment. So this is basically rotating with the Earth. It's compensating for the rotation of the Earth, and that's why here on the back I can see the moon in display. It's very clear. So if I switch back to the moon, which I'm doing now, there you can see the moon is really beautiful there, and I can go a little bit. I can move the moon up and down easily. I'm just going to move it down a little bit. Yes, Kim, I'm feeling a lot better. I really am a lot better. It's amazing to see, isn't it? It's really beautiful. And yeah, I can zoom right in. Let's zoom right in here. And then I can move a little bit across the surface here. So you can see all the different craters. And the different regions. The illumination of the moon at the moment is about 32%. Isn't it breathtaking? I could add a little, let me add a bit of light in here, make it a little bit lighter. 1 second. Lighten it up a bit for you. There you go. That's much brighter. I can brighten up the, the moon surface a bit. I've got these huge lamps looking at the at the moon. That's brightening up the moon surface. Of course, I'm only joking, but anyway, isn't it breathtaking? It is, and it's really neat. It shows you what you can do from your backyard in the middle of the city, which is quite remarkable, right? So you can get very good resolution, actually, isn't it? It's quite remarkable. Look how sharp you can see the craters. And some of these craters, typically the crater size that you see there is around 30, 40, 50 miles across, right? Some of them, the larger ones, will go up to 100 miles. Hi, Mohammed. Nice to see you in Egypt. That's very nice. That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm sure you can see this anywhere in the city, actually. It's possible to see this in, wherever you may be. So I'm just going to scan the surface a bit. Yeah, I'm going a little bit from left to right. So you can see the different structures here. Hi, Gentleman Ghost. It looks like red Mars, yes, instead of gray. Yeah, yeah. Well, Gentleman Mars, Gentleman Mars, Gentleman Ghost. I'm really going cuckoo, right? So, Gentleman Ghost, yeah, Mars is a bit different because of the sand, of course. But Gentleman Ghost, what you're referring to is during the lunar eclipse, where the path is very long through the atmosphere. That's what I showed recently, a few weeks ago. Hi, Chickadee. Hi. Very nice to see Audrey, Jean, everyone here. Susan, Wayne. I'm seeing all Joelle, Barbara. Everyone's coming in. That's really beautiful. So what is really incredible is during a lunar eclipse, of course, the path through the atmosphere is very long, and that's why it's so you see it so reddish. Now we are looking at, of course, the sunlight that reflects about the sun that is illuminating the moon partially at the moment, right? We got about 30% illumination, and as it gets, it will go more and more to waxing now. But it's quite incredible because you can really. I will just try and move a little bit more. Wait, the other way. Let me move the other way. Uh, to the boundary here, the boundary between. It was a little bit too far. Let me just move back again. Just the boundary between light and dark. That's a bit too far. Yeah, more or less here. More or less here. That's it. That's it. That's quite good. Because there the contrast is best. Oh, Mr. Moon, great silver moon. Yes. I was actually thinking, should I give you more an educational thing on science, or should I get my Pink Floyd out and play the Dark Side of the Moon? What is the maximum zoom in that I have? So that's a great question. So the zoom in that I have is approximately, I would say, I'm zooming in about 400 to 600 times now. So that's quite a good zoom, right? If I zoom out all the way, let me show you. There, that's how much I zoom in. Watch this. So this is incredible. This is already with 1,000 millimeters, right? And then I zoom in even more and more, and that's how far I can zoom in. That's quite good because I'm using a what is it? I think it's a 36 megapixel camera, so it's showing quite a good resolution here. And the scene conditions are very good today. They're really good. It's quite remarkable. But if you would like a bit of music, I could arrange that later. But let me give you a little bit of facts about the moon at the moment. So the altitude of the moon, so that's how high it is above the horizon, is 38 degrees at the moment. So it seems higher than it is. But the distance to the moon at the moment is, let me just check. Sorry, the illumination is 39.4%, 1.2 light seconds. So light takes 1.26 seconds, just a bit more than a second to reach the moon. And its exact distance at the moment is 377,859 kilometers. Isn't that quite amazing, right? It's quite amazing. Isn't it cool? It's quite fantastic. Yeah, it is. It is. So it really is remarkable how one can show that. And I'll just show those of you who haven't seen my equipment yet. That's what it looks like. So it's still, oops. Yeah, there you go. So it was just, yeah, there you go. So that's my equipment. That's my wildlife lens. Sometimes it's not completely clear. I don't know why. But here, that's my wildlife lens. That's an equatorial mount. And sometimes it's goofing up a little bit, and I don't know why. It's goofing up a little bit, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Let me just switch back again. Yeah, there's maybe an internet connection problem or so. I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. Let's see. Let me jump back again. Sure is cool. Yes. So there you can see my equipment anyway. So that's the lens that is pointing right at. It's very sophisticated, Mohammed. It is. Yes. It is. It is actually, but it is, believe it or not, exactly the same equipment that I use for photographing eagles. So because the equipment is so incredibly good, I actually like to, I like to keep it that way. So you don't need to buy new equipment. I don't know what's going on at the moment. For some reason, I don't know. Are you seeing it a bit blurry? I'm not sure if you're seeing it a little bit blurry or if it's okay, but it looks a little bit blurry on my side, but I'm not sure if that's what you're seeing. It's cool. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. I wonder what's going on here. Wait a second. That is weird. I'm not sure why it's hicking up a little bit. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hi from Northern Virginia. That is wonderful. I'm just seeing why it's blurring up a little bit. It didn't do that before. I'm not sure why it's doing that now. Not blurry here. Okay, very sharp. Good. Well, then thank you very much. It's only my preview. I'm very happy to hear it's clear. Well, that's the most important. So absolutely, it's going. It's good. Hi from Seattle, Deborah. We're not far from Seattle. I'm in Surrey, so that is north of you, of course. That is in British Columbia, right? That's where we are at the moment. Southern Utah, you've got incredible skies. It's clear. Good, good, Deborah. I'm glad it's clear. I wasn't sure. Then I can show you my equipment once more. One second. Let me show you my equipment. So, what you see here, that's my big lens. That's an equatorial mount. That's following the whole sky. This here is a special type. Those are finders to help me locate objects, and then I can move backwards and forwards here with a remote control. So I can control everything. Ah, and then you can't see the rest of my setup. You see a lot of wires, which I've hidden from you, but there are a lot of wires running around here. Odd question. Are there, gentleman ghost, are there colored lens attachments that you can put on the original lens to change color what you are viewing? That's a great question, gentleman ghost. Yes, you could do that, but I don't need to do that. I could change the color settings in the camera actually, and I will do that next time to get more color out. So I can do that. I can definitely get much more saturation out for you, which I would love to do, and that way I can change the color code in my camera, so I don't even need to do that with filters, but you can do that. Chandra says, it is very clear. When I was a kid, the only way we could see the moon beyond the white dot in the sky would be an expensive telescope. Right. Fantastic how technology has come that we can even see it in detail from a phone camera. Yes, although this is not a phone camera. Um, um, Chandra, that's not a phone camera that I'm using. I have to be, I have to disappoint you here. This is my equipment, okay? It's fairly sophisticated. That is the same equipment that I use. With a phone camera, so I'm not using my phone at all for this. I'm using actually a computer, and I'm feeding the camera into the computer at the moment. Okay, so sorry to disappoint you, but you would not be able to see this type of clarity with a phone because the magnification that I have at the moment is around 600 times. Okay, so it's very high. Okay, okay. So, oh no, I know yours isn't. Yeah, and I could show you that from a phone, but that is actually not possible. Hi, Jennifer from Connecticut. Just yeah, go on. Hello from Apple Valley, California. That sounds wonderful. Apple Valley. I wonder where that is. That sounds like a wonderful place. Mohammed says, Christian, you can still go further than the moon in good resolution. Yes, I can. I can go further. Yes, I can. Ruth, I have a pan and zoom, I think PNS or a point and shoot camera, sorry, with a 48 power zoom. For what I get is a pretty darn good photo of the moon. I'm sure you do. I've had to send you a copy. Yeah, do that. Send me a copy of your shots. I would love to see it. And Fran says, exceptional, very clear reception in northern Indiana, so detailed and colorful. Well, that is great. So I'm just going to move a little bit along the surface of the moon. there you are. And as it progresses, so it's very clear. That's good. You know what I can do in future, I can show you the landing sites of Apollo 11, which is quite remarkable. In 1969, I'll show you where the landing site is. Now don't expect me to zoom in and show you the US flag. That ain't gonna happen. It's not even possible with a Hubble telescope. I always get asked, can you show me the flag? The answer is, sorry guys, I cannot show you that. There are many reasons for that, but that's way out of my depth here. Can you show Mars? No, at the moment, Susan, I cannot show Mars. I would have to set that up separately to do that. Mars is difficult with this setup I have there. I would have to change it a bit in order to show Mars, but I will show Jupiter and Saturn one day for sure. Okay, that definitely. Okay. Klaus, that would be incredible to see, wouldn't it? Absolutely, absolutely. It's it's so remarkable what one can do. But if you would like some music also to accompany that, if you like some Pink Floyd, I'll try and find some, and maybe I could add some later. The American flag is on the other side. We can't see, right or wrong. No, Mohammed, that's not correct. So look. Let me just clarify some things here. We only see one side of the moon. Okay, let me repeat that. We only see one side of the moon, right? The moon always shows the same face to the Earth. There's a little bit of what we call libration. That means that the moon moves backwards and forwards. So we actually, in reality, see about 60%. But the where the lunar landing was is at the moment, I think, in the dark. So I can't show it at the moment. However, wait 1 or 2 days, and I would be able to show it. So that's where the Apollo 11. So it is absolutely visible. The landing site or the spot is visible, but it's not possible to get the resolution in order to really see any details. For that, you would have to take well, the Hubble telescope can't even do that, but you actually have to take one of the lunar missions that have shown where they are, right? So you have to go into much more detail there, right? So landing sites, I will do that. I will definitely do that. I'll take a tour of the landing site. I would like to see the landing spot for Apollo 11. Yes. Oh, you always remember that moment, Barbara. So did I. I was a small small kid, and we had this black and white TV, and I was in Germany, and I remember. Well, I remember very well. I was 10 years old, and we were staring at the TV. We couldn't believe this. It was one of the most remarkable moments in our lives, right? It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Here I'll give you a little bit of a different look now, a little bit zoomed out. So it was. Saturn would be good in the future. Yes, I will. That is good. Ever caught the ISS? Yes, of course. Well, we see a lot of the ISS, but I haven't followed it. I haven't done the International Space Station. I've seen it, but I have not photographed it actually. But yes, of course. Mohammed's seen it many times, of course, and it's very easy to see, right? You just have to go on any of the popular planetarium programs, and they'll show you where it is. I was a fetus when they landed on the moon. Yes, Ron, it was incredible. It was incredible. So, and I was 10 years old, so it was absolutely incredible, right? So I'm always surprised that we get people, especially in the States, that you get people, and it's quite a large percentage that believe it was a conspiracy. I don't want to go into the conspiracy nonsense because it's absolute nonsense. But it is sad that it is so because, how should I say, science education is really important. And very soon, in a few years, the lunar missions are going back. They're coming back. That's definitely back on the agenda. SpaceX and so on. They're going to be lunar missions coming up, and yes, it'll be quite exciting. Soon there'll be the first woman on the moon. That's going to happen. It's only a matter of a few years now. So it's very nice. There's a lot to explore on the moon, so especially the exploration of water. Yes, isn't it, Chandra? It is remarkable. Also, the exploration of water on the poles is very interesting. The moon has a lot of water reserves, and that was only a finding that is a few years back. That came as a big surprise how much water there is captured on the moon, right? Who would have thought that, right? So it'll be possible once you have water, of course, you can produce oxygen and hydrogen, right? From a from a a polymer fuel cell. So there's a lot you can do. Hi, Pat from Texas. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. It's quite fun. Let me show you my setup again. I'm just going to jump over to the other side. So there you can see that's my setup. Here, that's me. So it's still quite light at the moment. So it's warm, by the way. I just put on my pullover. I always do that. But you can see that's the mount that I have. That's my lens that I use for wildlife, and I have transformed it a little bit into some astronomy gear, which makes it really exciting. So it's really beautiful that way, and that's what you're seeing right now. So let's jump right back to the moon. No conspiracy. First man landed on the moon, 1969. I was only 3 years old. Saw footage in later years. Absolutely, Susan. Absolutely, absolutely yes, absolutely. That is so good. Yes, it's sad so many people are, excuse me, foolish enough to believe we never land on the moon. I know, Barbara. Isn't it crazy? And you have some of these rap singers and whatever. Um, yeah, I even have a neighbor around there who believes that for some reason that the sun is just glued onto the surface up there, right? The sun is in reality not that hot. It's just a few miles away, and the stars are also just glued on there. So, well, we have that, and there's very little I can do about it, but it's just the way it is. Yeah. Let me zoom in a little bit more. It's quite remarkable here. Lighten it up a bit more for you. 1 second. Let's just get it a bit more brighter, bit brighter. See, there you go. There you go. Yeah, that's very high resolution now. What a terrible, cynical way to live, isn't it? It is. It is a very cynical way to live. It's absolutely crazy. I could tell you a lot about the moon. It's very interesting. Gentleman Gones, have you ever finally dismantled your neighbor's house so it won't interrupt the scope as the moon moves? Gentleman Gones, I'll answer you. I'll give you a wonderful answer to this. I didn't have to. Um, we have a small summer house in the Okanagan, right? It's beautiful. Go and look up where the Okanagan Lake is. It's near Kelowna. And I'm back there in a week's time. And the view I've got there is incredible. The whole east and south is completely unobstructed. And from there, I will give you the most incredible shows. So the moon is easy anyway, right? It's very easy. But I'll be able to show you some beautiful nebula, some galaxies, and so live. Can you believe it? Live. And that's the difference. I'm going to show you this live, which will take quite a lot of effort on my side. So I'm starting with the moon, which is easy, and I will go more and more deep into space, and I will be showing you whatever I can. And next year, when I'm back in Australia, I will be able to show you the beautiful Milky Way from Australia. From the southern sky, it's just insanely amazing, right? It's not like we see it here in the northern hemisphere. It's beautiful here too, but the southern hemisphere is a lot more beautiful. Muhammad says a co-worker always claimed she was alien. Sorry, I have to laugh. Oh my God. Security scanners actually scream out loud when she gets close. Yeah, sure. Whatever, right? Whatever. I have those nutcases too. I know them. Oh, I can't wait. That'll be exciting. It will. I promise you. I'm going to put a lot of effort. Are your skies very dark? Okay, that's good. Yes, Patrice. So that's a good question. So I can give you on the scale the darkness. There's the so-called Bortle level. So that we have a scale of 3 where 1 is the best. So that's fairly dark. Here in the city, it's 8. Okay, so it's really bad, right? But there it's 3. So I would say that's quite dark. That's quite dark, right? Of course, we have some light from a distant city, but it's not bad. It's not bad, right? Yeah, your personal dacha, that is right. Someone here, Francis, someone claimed that the moon landing actually took place in a desert. Oh, okay, here we go. So, Fran, this is the Stanley Kubrick. Those of you who know Stanley Kubrick, raise your hands. Just say yes, I do, and put it in the chat. Well, Stanley Kubrick was one of the most amazing film directors ever, right? An absolute genius. And he did Space Odyssey 2001, which still remains my favorite science fiction movie to date. Yes. And he was incredible. He was also a very good chess player, and he had many, many talents. Yup, I see yup, and many people saying that. So Stanley Kubrick. So here comes the thing. So these people claim that Stanley Kubrick was contracted by the US government, of course, and by NASA, who were too stupid that they couldn't do this, to film the whole thing in the desert, right? And everything was complete fake. But I could give you a long explanation and quite a scientific explanation why this is completely ludicrous. But these type of scientific explanations, A, you don't need them, and B, they wouldn't be understood by those people anyway, right? Who deny the moon landing. And honestly, I don't feel like going into this discussion. I spent a lot of time on it. You loved, here we go. Kim says, I love 2001 A Space Odyssey. I don't know how many times I saw that. And there's also the following that was Space Odyssey 2010. You see, what was so remarkable about Space Odyssey 2001 is the symbolism of the obelisk, right? Of this perfect rectanguloid, right? That has a dimension of 1 to 2 to 3, right? Those were the dimensions, and they were perfect dimensions, and it was also perfectly absorbing surface. It reflected absolutely nothing. So that was the symbolism for higher intelligence, which I thought was absolutely ingenious, right? And you remember Hal, absolutely. Beautifully done, absolutely beautifully done. It was an amazing piece, absolutely amazing, right? Again, again, this is a fake moon landing. Again, this is a fake moon landing. Did you know the Earth is flat? Yes, Susan, exactly. That's another separate discussion. The flat Earth people. But we can almost see the curvature of the moon here. Look at that. You can see. Look at that. If you look very carefully, you can see that that there's definitely curvature in the moon. You just look at it, and if you were walking on the moon, it would be very easy to prove that the moon is spherical, because you only have to walk a few miles until you disappear. Right? You disappear. Your head disappears. So it definitely cannot be flat. And for the Earth, I mean, I don't have to go into details. Well, if you've ever looked at the horizon and you've seen ships disappear, well, that's because the Earth is curved. It's got nothing to do with atmospheric distortions and so on. That has to do with the curvature of the Earth, right? And this has been shown centuries ago, right? It is 2021 and the Earth is flat. Oh, that's good, Susan. Yes. The music. Okay. Well, I will put on the music next time. Okay, I'll put that on next time. I just wanted to basically run a test here and make sure everything really runs, but it does. It's actually going very well, and I will take a number of pictures from the moon, and I will post them. How's that? So I'll probably take a bit of see if we can take the moon tonight and post it tomorrow, and then you can see what the moon looks like. The people who said this do not understand physics. No, they don't, Susan. They absolutely don't. No, 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 no. It's absolutely not. Okay, here again is my equipment. It's getting dark now, as you can see, but you can just make out my equipment still. Enya will fit perfectly. That is good. Wow. Yeah, that's the equipment. Okay, so here you can see it. So that's my camera. That's a 35 megapixel camera that I use for wildlife photography too. There's my 1000 millimeter lens, and then I have at the back, I put that into a computer, and then you can enjoy it, right? And I have a switch. I have a switch, and I can switch backwards and forwards. That's what I do, right? And you can see my current location is Surrey. Isn't that wonderful? Saw 2001 here. Janice says, that's great. I saw 2001 so many times. I once closed my eyes and listened to it. Yes, that is remarkable that you liked it so much. Then you are absolutely on my page. I still think it's probably the best science fiction movie I've ever seen in my life. For many, many reasons. Fran says, I've seen the curvature of the Earth. Flight, of course. That is very true. If you sit in an airplane, that is a very good point. On the pole and took the polar route, absolutely you can see it. You know, if you fly at a high altitude, you can definitely see it. Absolutely. Well, good point. Susan says, love it. Can you take a picture of the full moon? Yes, I can. Definitely, I will. If the skies are clear, I will definitely do that. I will. It's wonderful to have all your comments here. I really enjoy that. That makes it very special. That really makes it very special. Anyway, what I'm going to do now, yes, it's nice to see you back online again, says Ruth. Your posts have not popped up in my feed for a while. You're looking good and healthy. Thank you. I've look forward to learning more about the moon and the eagles again. Yes, Ruth, I don't post. I post when I feel very inspired. At the moment, I'm building up more equipment and doing a lot of things in the background. So it's not like I'm not doing anything, but I haven't taken eagle pictures for a while now because I've been very busy just experimenting, right? Just like with this equipment and so on. So you will definitely see me much more online. And fortunately, my health is right back. We can be so grateful for our health, as you all know. It's the biggest gift we can find. Ruth says, do you find that you get better shots when when there's still a little sunlight available? That's interesting. No, I think from the moon it would be very good right now. Okay, so the sky is still quite blue at the moment. Um, so so that's why you can still. I mean, we still have a little bit. You can still see me, right? Here I am. You can still see me. So it's not completely dark yet. But I think this is sufficient. It has more to do with the seeing conditions. Gentleman Ghost, wondering why we don't hear of more moon impacts by meteors since no atmosphere. Yes, there are quite a few actually. Gentleman Ghost, the moon used to be bombarded many, many billions of years ago. The moon was tormented, right? And there are a lot of impacts on the lunar surface, and they have been documented. They have really been documented. So it's true that does happen. But Jupiter, for example, is our big vacuum cleaner. It's without Jupiter, we would be bombarded much more, right? So thank goodness there's Jupiter that seems like a big vacuum cleaner. But the moon does. The moon, of course, doesn't have a very big gravitational field, so it does impact quite a lot. You had a lot of these micro meteorites, really, really small impacts. Very fine rocks that impact the lunar surface. So you do hear quite a lot, and I think we're going to hear a lot more once they start landing on the moon. It's going to get really interesting. Christian, any plans for a Harriet M15 visit? Oh, Mohammed, hey, I would love to go again. I have my first Pfizer vaccine at the moment, and I need one more. And hopefully I'll have that in about 6 weeks. And I really hope that will mean that traveling will get better again. So I would love to go to Florida again, many places. I want to visit all the friends. I want to do more broadcasts, and I want to go to Ecuador. I couldn't even go to Ecuador. I was going to do live broadcasts from Ecuador showing you hummingbirds. I couldn't do all that, right? It was really sad. There were so many things I wanted to do. Hi, who is it? Rob from Central Illinois. Welcome, welcome. Very nice to see you. Fran says, happy you're feeling better. I'm enjoy listening to you and hearing all your knowledge. Well, you're very welcome, and you're very welcome to contribute at any time. You're very welcome. So I'm enjoying this too. It really is. It's absolutely wonderful. Yes, a bluer sky, but a deeper blue, but not dark. Yes, yeah, Ruth. That's what we have at the moment. That's exactly right. So yeah, I do have, I do have plans to travel more again. But the imminent travel will be to Australia. I would love to show you the kangaroos again and the beautiful night skies, and they have these wonderful eagles. They have quite large eagles there, wedge-tail eagles. They're quite incredible. Yeah, that's quite a beautiful position. Let me just zoom in a bit more. Oops, wait a second. There you go. Now you see it in really high resolution. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. You can see it in absolute high resolution at the moment. That is wonderful. Do they have harpy eagles there? Not in Australia. No, not in Australia. No, and I have, except for in the zoo, I have never seen a harpy eagle in real life. I would like to see that one day. Maybe I have to do that with David Hancock. And I thought all the wildlife in Australia is a kind that wanted to kill you. No, no, no. I think that's unfair. I think that's very unfair. I mean, they have a lot of venomous insects around there, but or snakes and whatever. But honestly, I haven't come across anything, and I think in most cases you're fine, right? I mean, I wouldn't want to be bitten by a snake in the middle of nowhere, and I would definitely be careful, and it's best to go with someone. But in general, no, no. You're fine. You're really fine. Look at me. I'm still alive. Barbara says, if you come to Florida, please stop in St. Augustine. I've never been there. Nation's oldest city. Is that right? Lunch on me, Barbara. Okay, I will do that. That's incredible. Nation's oldest city. I better go and visit that. Barbara, I will remember that. Where is I have to look up where St. Augustine is with a relationship to Tampa or Jacksonville or any places. I know Miami. Well, it's too far south anyway. But I have to look up. I don't know where St. Augustine is, but I'll look it up. Chandra says, I have friends in Australia that always want me to come visit, but I've been scared to go. Well, Chandra, I have a good idea with you. I give classes in astrophotography, and it's absolutely beautiful. There for 5 days and 5 nights, and there you're in a very secure environment, really, in a very secure environment. And I think if you ever want to do something like that, let me know. I haven't been able to do it now for 2 years nearly because of COVID. We had to do it, but I'm going to start again in 2022 with these tours, and it's absolutely magnificent, right? You'll see wildlife, you'll see night sky, and many, many other things. So that's one way of enjoying it, right? And you'll be in a very nice lodge and so on. You see, I'm a good tourist guide. Yes. Okay. But finding out there's eagles, isn't that right? Yeah, that changes everything, of course. It does. It does. And I'll show you where the eagles are. It's between Jacksonville and Daytona Beach. Okay, I see. Okay, good. Then I know approximately where that is. That sounds like so much fun. It is. It is. It is. It is. And fortunately, to get to Australia is very easy. At the moment, just traveling is absolute taboo. We have to wait a few months. I think at least till the end of the year. I definitely don't recommend to go rush to travel like everybody wants to now. I think one should wait a bit and then one should travel again. Do everything in mindfully. Last week of April, yes, that's right. Gab, Well, let me just see your name. Sorry, I understand. Let me just see that get it correct. Gaboguji, is that right? Gaboguji. That's right. That's it. Right. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. That's sensible, isn't it? Gentleman Ghost said, "Dumb question." No, Gentleman Ghost never asks dumb questions. What is the sky from Brazil any different than the sky of Australia? No, it's not a dumb question at all. Okay, so it depends where you are relative to the equator, right? So that's all it matters. So you already see the southern sky in Brazil, especially when you're in southern Brazil. So the sky is not very different. The only difference is the best, how should I say it, in the dark areas of Brazil, you will have an absolutely superb sky and it will look very similar to what you see in Australia, okay? Only Australia, there you go a little bit more south, but it looks very similar. The best seeing conditions are definitely in Chile. Chile rules everything worldwide. You have 25 out of 30 clear nights in Chile. That is because in the desert in Chile, the conditions are still the best. Australia is very good. Namibia has very good conditions too. And then there are of course a few other ones. Of course, Hawaii, you heard of that one, right? Mauna Kea and so on. There's also very good conditions. But the world's best conditions are in Chile. There's no doubt about it. Okay. No dumb question at all. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Ruth says, when I've taken photos of the moon, I have shots of the moon where it looks as orange as Chance's shields, while others, yes, are ivory. Okay, yeah, that is completely correct. That is completely correct. And yeah, so what you see at the moment is its usual white color. So it really depends on the atmospheric conditions. That's all it depends on, right? So if the moon is very low, the moon will appear more red. If you have these summer fires, as we have now, unfortunately, then you will have a lot of particles in the air, and that will also turn the air a lot more red, and then the moon will look blood red, really. It will. Lunar eclipses, they look quite red, and that has to do with the light that goes through the atmosphere. It's just a long way through the atmosphere from that reaches you from the moon, right? And that's why it looks quite red. So that's really what it depends on. But it's a very good question. So yes, it really depends mainly on the atmospheric conditions and how high the moon is. Okay. Philippe, merci Christian from France. Oh yes, six from bonjour, ça va? 6:54. That is very early for you, Philippe. Good morning. Very nice to see you. Very nice. So you can see we still have the night before, and it's beautiful condition. I'll show you what it looks like. 1 second. Let me switch. There. Oh, it's getting really dark now. I would have to lighten it up a little bit so you can just see my equipment here. You can just make up my equipment still, right? Because it's getting quite dark now. But let me see if I can lighten it up a bit. 1 second. I'm going to try and do that. Okay, that's absolute magic what I did now. You see that? That's magic. What I did is I put my video camera on very high sensitivity, and although it's quite dark, it's picking up everything at the moment. So you can still see my equipment quite well now. So there you go. Isn't that fantastic? So I put it on maximum sensitivity, so it's showing you to be a lot lighter than it actually is, right? So you can see there's my wildlife camera that has transformed into a telescope. and I got some equipment that compensates for the rotation of the Earth, right? And you can even see me here. In a second, let's just see. Yeah, there you go. That's it. So, and you can see, even in the dark, you can see me fairly well, right? Isn't that surprising? Good night, my time to go to sleep. Yes. Gaja, I can't even pronounce your name. It's so nice you've been there to sleep. Thank you so much. And I excuse me for not pronouncing your name correctly. So I have to read it. The screen reading is very small. That's my excuse here. Very nice that you've been here, and have a wonderful rest. And I hope you wake up tomorrow fresh and healthy. That's wonderful. Wow, magic, isn't it? Magic technology. Yeah, that you can go and I can show you the moon in darkness, and at the same time I can show you my equipment. I can show you my equipment in lightness. Isn't that quite amazing, right? And there's no illumination here. This comes all from natural light. Isn't that quite amazing, right? So technology, yes. Is that funny? Huh? That's quite funny. Super cool, isn't it? It's really wonderful to see you all. Anyway, I'm going to slowly close this now. I love how positive, inspiring you always are. Hey, Chandra, that's so important. It's so important to be positive and inspiring. That's also why I do these things, because I give myself a kick to do this, because it just feels good to give something wonderful to other people, and I really love doing that. I really love doing that. So I really do. So anyway, I'm just going to switch over. And on that note, now let me just wave to you. Here I am. So I'm just going to say good night to all of you and wish you a wonderful evening. And I'll show you a 1 or 2 more minutes of the moon so you can enjoy it, and wish you all the best. And then I will slowly fade out and put everything away. Okay, my friends. Yeah, enjoy the moon a bit more. I can't stay there, and you don't have to stay. That was it anyway, so don't worry. Okay, good night, everyone. Good night, and thank you for joining me. It was wonderful, my friends. Thank you so much, and all the best. Good night.